what kind of training do you do for your autos? Because the size of these, man, your canopies are massive
Leaf
that you
tucking.
get.
I start leaf tucking when they have 3 or 4 sets of leaves. And I aggressively leaf tuck. It's not just like, oh, push this over here, push that over there. I will take a big fan leaf and twirl it completely underneath the bud site. And in an hour, it'll come back. But that little bit of sun or that little bit of LED light that it gets, they start to come up. And that's how I grow those canopies kind of even instead of the Christmas tree thing. Now, out back, I didn't do anything. I just let them rip because I want them to express the way the sun wants them to express. I want to see their natural form, their natural structure, because I'm looking at some of them as possibly something to breed with. So I'm letting them express their own way. I've done limited leaf tucking. I've done some lollipopping on the bottom, just getting rid of some. But I'm in my normal grow indoors. Um, I leaf tuck heavy. I will take anything that is blemished, anything that might have got bitten by anything, or anything that is dying. I will take those leaves off throughout the whole grow. Now that I have a couple runs with the under canopies under my belt, I realize that you only have to take a little bit off the bottom, just some straggly leaves, so that some of that nutrients gets up. You know what I mean? But I will attest. The last grow I had with it, even though they were only like 22, 24 inch plants, they weren't big, huge plants like I normally grow. They yielded like crazy because of the under canopy. The Widow's Reaper, which is Bobby's Widow's Cross, which was a 2019 Auto Cup winner from Gnome Automatics. Him and Mendel did a bunch of crosses together, and that cross, that Widow's Reaper, that was my biggest plant, and that was 12.4 ounces, and it was stunted, and it was because of the under canopies. Now, I'll explain to you how I used the far red and how I came about it. The far red gets a lot of play out there now. Some people say, "Oh, it's terrible. It's not natural. It's outside the spectrum," because it is 730 nanometer for real far red. Um, when I got this light, got it off marketplace. Guy got it somehow by accident because he won one from GML show, and he sold it to me for $500, and it needed work, but it was a $1,400 light, so I jumped on it. Sold my HLG. And my cousin's an electrician, so he came here and he rebuilt the whole light for me, fixed everything, got it running perfect, and I let it rip. And that's the first time I used that light, was the Master Yoda run. Halfway through, I got rid of the HLG and put the GML up there, and that killed it. And I started messing with the far red, and I noticed that my seedlings were really stretching up good. I'm like, I think I'm onto something here. So the next run, I lowered the white light to like 15, 20% during veg and cranked the far red to 100. And within 10 days, my plants were like this big already. And I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing now. I got it. So now what I do is I do that in the beginning. And then once the stretch is over, I'll turn it down to like 50%, the far red, and I'll let the whites and the greens and the blues and all that take over. And then with 2 or 3 weeks left of flower, I'll crank it back up again because it's great for entourage effect. It does harden the buds, and it does promote photosynthesis. So there are a lot of good things for it. What I wouldn't recommend is just leaving it 100% the whole time, all the time, because you can get wonky looking plants from it, because it will get huge leaves and things of that nature. And I've done all that just by trial and error and writing everything down. So I know what step to go to next. So like some of the cultivars love it. Some of them don't like it at all. So you got to really play with it. I never run more than like, I run 4 plants at a time in my tent because normally they'll grow up the sides. So I always pick 4 different ones. I don't run like 4 of the same or 2. The only time I did that was the ice cream paint job. I wanted to run it because it was great. I did 2 of them and they turned out great. But yeah, that's how I stumbled upon how to use the far red. And then I've played with it constantly every run since. And I think I got it down now where I can make them stretch up pretty good. I know when to stop. I know when to add. I know when to turn the light way up. Like now, before I was doing 1300 ppfd at the end at 18 inches. Now I'm keeping it more around 1100 and pumping the CO2. Because I thought I had great CO2 down here until I tested it and got a tester. and it was only at 500. I thought I was up like another 1,000. So now I just use 2 TMB bottles, shake them up real good, and it keeps me in the 700s, which is perfect for an auto.
Yeah, the way you talked about using far red, I remember you talking about that on Garden Talk,
Hmm.
and I thought that was brilliant to where you're really utilizing it heavy during the stretch phase, right? Because with autos, right, it's not just the veg period where you're getting that growth, and it's not just veg period. There's so much emphasis in keeping the plant healthy, so you get good growth. You don't stunt it at all,
Yeah.
so that way you have a good yield at the end of the day, right? But if you're utilizing far red as well, which is going to give you that additional stretch, especially during the stretch period when you're flipping the flower, well, that just gives you more branching in order to build buds onto. So, and then you mentioned you kind of back off the far red and then
Yeah.
reintroduce it. But man, that's so cool that I feel like it's, I don't say a hack. It's not technically a hack, but it's a really good technique
Yeah.
in order to get like larger growth on the plant before it actually starts to go into full flower mode.
When I first started messing with it, I messaged Thomas and I said, "Hey, I think I might have something with this far red." And he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I explained it all to him on one of his shows. He's like, "Dude, that's next level, man. No, I've never heard of anybody doing that." And that's when he had it R&D'd at a lab and stuff like that. And what I said was pretty much straight on. And just to give people tips, on autos, the start is everything. The first 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks is everything with autos. Even if they look a little wonky, if they're growing, that's fine because the wonkiness will go away. They're autos. That stuff happens. They're never going to be perfect. They're never going to be better than photo periods, but they are starting to come up there now. They're starting to really move in the right direction. The genetics are getting better and better and more stable. If you look at Chubbs a couple days ago just won the Universe Cup in Hamburg, Germany, and he entered against Photos and he won with a apricot auto and he beat Photos in a cup. That's telling you a lot of which direction that the autos are going now. They're more terpy. They're more strong. They're much more structurally sound, where they're not just growing weird like the old lowrider would grow to a slant and all that stuff. They look like Photos when you have them in your. I mean, if you've ever seen the frosted biscotti I ran from James Loud, you can't tell that's not a photo. It's the most beautiful plant I've ever ran. It's gorgeous. Looks like my son named it the Dark Knight because it looks like it's from the Batman movie. You know what I mean? It's crazy looking strain. And of course, he's my breeding idol. That guy's amazing. But if you have a fluffy medium and say you're using fabric, find the deepest fabric pot you can, even if it's a 5 or a 3 gal. Find a deep one. Use that fluffy medium, whatever you're using, whether it's cocoa soil, whatever it may be, because that taproot's going to want to go straight down really quick. And if you have enough length there for that to go down without being impeded, no blockages, so it's nice fluffy and that taproot can go straight down, you're going to get a good grow. The auto is going to express well and it's going to grow quickly and it'll surprise you. Some of them will start out slow and then like week 3, week 4 just explode. And you're like, whoa. And it's fun.
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.